Do you want louder, cleaner, and deeper bass in your two-channel or home theater system without having to buy bigger subwoofers? Well, stack them. Hi everyone, I'm Dippin with CE Critic, and in this video, I'm going to talk about stacking subwoofers, some of their benefits, and I'm also going to stack these KEF subwoofers that I have in for review, just so you can see how KEF does it in their system. Now, stacking subwoofers could be a really great solution for a lot of different setups. For one, if your receiver or integrated only has one subwoofer out, but you want more bass in the room, this is a great way to get it. You can get the subwoofers, you can stack them up and only have to use one output on your receiver or integrated or processor. Stacking subwoofers has three really great benefits. The first is it gives you a lot more headroom in your systems and a lot more SPL. When you stack the subwoofers like this, you can get anywhere from +3 dB SPL to room all the way up to +6. Now, +6 is on the high end. You need to make sure you have a lot of acoustical treatments in the room to make sure you get all the benefits. But right out of the gate, just by stacking them, you can expect to see about +3 dB of SPL in the room and giving you more headroom in your system. The second reason to stack your subwoofers is you'll get better low frequency extension into the room. The subwoofers will reinforce each other, creating a much tighter and more accurate bass extension inside the room and allowing you to feel that rumble even more. Another great reason to stack your subwoofers is if you're limited by space. Sometimes if you're in an apartment or in a smaller room and you can't get multiple subwoofers set up in the room, but you do want more bass in the room, then you want to stack the subwoofers so you can get more bass output. A third reason why you want to stack these subwoofers is to help with floor bounce. Typically, most people put their subwoofers on the floor like I have in my setup here. You get something called floor bounce. Floor bounce causes frequency issues inside the room because the low frequency is bouncing off the floor, coming back up, and it can start to interfere with different parts of the setup or frequency. So by stacking the subwoofers, you have a lot of benefits here in your system. Now, one thing to keep in mind, and this really mainly impacts only if you've got one set of subwoofers. If you've got two set of stacked subwoofers, you won't have this problem. But if you've got one stack of subwoofers, you will get some localization of the subs in the room and you'll lose some of that balance. So in an ideal setup, what I would say first is if you can put two subwoofers in two different locations in the room to balance them out, great. And then if you need more SPL in the room, you can start to stack your subs. And if that's not the case for you because you're in an apartment or in a small setting, then yeah, go ahead and start stacking them. It may be perfectly fine in your room, but if you're in a larger room or a dedicated home theater room and you do want to stack your subwoofers, I would say get multiple stacks of subwoofer. Okay, let's start setting up these KEF KC92s. Part of the reason I asked KEF for two subwoofers in my review here is because I did want to show you guys how to put them together. They do have a kit that allows you to stack their subwoofers, so you can do 2 or 3. You probably don't want to do 4, that might be overkill for a room, but I'm sure you can probably do it. Okay, so here's the KEF bracket kit, and it has all the pieces that you need for stacking either 2 or 3 subwoofers. Inside the box, you'll find the manual, pads that go in between the subwoofers, 4 brackets, screws, and accessories. Alright, so the first step according to KEF's instructions is to remove the 4 rubber plugs. These are spots where the bracket screws will go in. On the bottom subwoofer, you will want to remove all 4 of these plugs. On the top subwoofer, you'll only have to remove the bottom 2. Now, if I was stacking 3 subwoofers, on the bottom subwoofer, I would remove all 4 of the plugs. In the middle subwoofer, I will remove all 4 of the plugs. And on the top subwoofer, I will only have to remove the 2 bottom plugs. Now that I've removed these plugs, you can see them here in my hand. Now the next step for stacking the subwoofers is I have to remove the feet on the top subwoofer. Now that I've removed the feet, I'm going to put the subwoofer on top with the pad in between and start putting my brackets on. Now this process was pretty quick and painless, and I was able to make them nice and tight so that the subwoofers felt like they moved as one unit. Now let's talk about cabling and how to set these up. I actually had a conversation with KEF on the best way to run the cables and what are the settings for the high pass filter that they recommend. Now first, we're going to want to set these subwoofers to LFE mode because we're using them in a home theater setting. Now the cable that comes from the receiver, the subwoofer out on your receiver, can go to either the bottom subwoofer or the top subwoofer. For me and the way I want to run the cabling, I'm going to put them in the top subwoofer. From there, I'm going to take the left output, which is the white output on the top subwoofer, and connect it to the bottom subwoofer's LFE input. Now, if you're going to stack 3 subwoofers, KEF recommends starting from the bottom and then working your way to the top. Now, let's talk about the high pass filter. KEF gives you 15 different filter settings, but for this setup, we want full mono signal. That means all 4 switches are going to be set to 1. I am not using the subwoofer's built-in crossover because I've already set my crossover in the receiver. This way, the subs are just passing a clean mono signal. Now comes the fun part. I'm going to turn everything on, turn on the system, and enjoy listening to these subwoofers. Thanks again everyone for watching this video, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one where I do a full overview of these speakers in my part 3 series of the KEF KC92.